How's things? I've been told that I haven't made a Pornstar Martini yet, so I guess it was inevitable, so I'm going to make it now. Going to do 60 of vodka. Going to do this really quickly, and then I have a tier list set up so everyone can see how I think of certain drinks. So I just did 60 of vodka there. Fresh passion fruit. The problem with Pornstar Martinis is just that they're too sweet, so and it's such a pain in the arse to such a pain in the arse to make them really nice in a bar. Sure, it came fire, thanks very much, after yesterday's extravagant one. Toned it down a little bit. So I'm going to put the whole of a passion fruit in here, all the bits and bobs. I'm going to squeeze half a lime. This lime is fucking massive, like that's huge for a lime, so just going to squeeze that whole bad boy in. I've done away with using that juice and yolk because I didn't get much lime out of that, although it's big. No juice, am I right, ladies? Fucking I've lost train of thought now. But anyway, not often that thank you very much for the shirt compliments. Pineapple juice isn't used that much, but we're going to use it. Some places use egg white without saying, just double check. Like if you see a little bit of head on it, it's probably pineapple juice. It's literally, as I said, one of my favourite measurements as a bartender, a splash. Really, really good. I don't have white sugar syrup, or blanco sugar syrup as I called it recently, but this is Demerara. Someone asked me about why I use certain sugar syrups. It's not like rocket science or anything, it's just white with white spirits, or like caster sugar or whatever you want to use for your like what do you call that mad shit? Yeah, caster sugar for your like neutral grain spirits that are like transparent in colour. That's what I was looking for. And then Demerara brown sugar for anything that's brown. So I'm gonna do about 20 mils of this. Might be on the sweet side, but it's not like really, really sweet. Puree sweet, and that's the problem with Pornstars. It's very often that you'll just see them chuck out in most bars that I've seen. It's just not done well. It's a really nice drink, and we'll get to my tier list now in a minute. Ice in the glass, if I didn't say it already. It's only a quick one. I'm not going to double shake this now. I don't have Prosecco. I'm fucking so sorry. But if anybody wants to sponsor me and get me some alcohol, that'd be fantastic, because I've spent a hell of a lot. I'm going to find a little tea strainer. If I don't want any bits or icicles in my drinks, I just use this little tea strainer. I don't have like the strainer that I use in the bar, obviously. Very nice. People always ask as well if I did have Prosecco. People often ask how to drink it. Do you put it in? Do you not? And my answer would always be like everything. That's fucking massive. I can't put that in. I'll just shade this down. Yeah, my answer would be to like everything. The best way to drink something is the way you like to drink it. So if you want to put it in, fair dues. If you don't, no worries. So there you go. A bit of technical difficulty there, but we're back, I think. And there you go. Very quick, very easy, looking nice, very fresh. So I'm gonna bring you over to my computer now while I drink this. I think the very first cocktail on this tier list is a Pornstar Martini, and I'll drink this while you watch. So basically, this is my setup. This is my notes and all. I have loads of wires. But basically, I have about, I think it's 40 cocktails. We'll get through that relatively quickly. I have S, A, B, C, D, and then I have all the things over there. So I'll just run through them really, really quick. Pornstar, Mojito, Sazerac. Pornstar, Mojito, Sazerac, Cosmopolitan, Strawberry Daquiri, and Daquiri included in that. Pina Colada, Dark and Stormy, Jungle Bird, Long Island, White Lady, Old Fashioned, French Martini, French 75, Americano, Bloody Mary, Penicillin, Hanky Panky, Caipirinha, Caiprioska, Tom Collins, Margarita, Whiskey Sour, Espresso Martini, Irish Coffee, Ramos Gin Fizz, White Russian and Black Russian included in that. Aviation, Sidecar, Bramble, Amaretto Sour, Rum Old Fashioned, Paloma, Corpse Reviver 2, Moscow Mule, Vodka and Gin Martini, Manhattan, Negroni, Aperol Spritz, Zombie, Last Word, and Mai Tai and Clover Club. So, gonna get rocking. I'll sit you down right over there. Cheers. It wasn't too sweet actually. I thought maybe putting the brown Demerara sugar in it made it a little bit more sweet. I've never had a Pornstar martini, would you believe? But I think as a bartender you make them so much that you can just tell what they taste like, so it's not even worth it sometimes. But that's really nice. That's a nice homemade one. I think it looks really nice as well. That's probably the nicest looking Pornstar I've ever seen. Traditionally it was used with champagne, and I'll do a proper episode on Pornstar martinis, but champagne was the little on the side there. So yeah, I'm just doing this today because I felt a bit horny, so I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. And also I kind of want to do a series of this that I rank gins and I rank vodka and whiskey and all that kind of jazz. So I said, why not start and do some cocktails? So the first one I have is the Pornstar. Now, having had my first one, the one that I've made, which is probably biased because I know in general, give or take, what I like. So I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put that in A tier. So I have S, which is like fucking super fucking nicest looking Pornstar I've ever seen. Tim 21. Me, I don't know, the bald head. I'm the nicest looking Pornstar around. I should give Johnny Sins. If I fucking collabed with Johnny Sins, wouldn't that be the best thing of all time? Anyway, distractions. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in A tier. I have 5 tiers here. Some things are gonna be in D tier because like some things are rotten, like what people ask for. I see why people drink them, but not when I see bartenders with like pre-made Pornstar juice. Next one is a Navy Grogg. A Navy Grogg is not something you see often nowadays. A Navy Grogg is something that you don't see these days. It's rum, honey, pink grapefruit juice. It's really nice. There's a couple of other things in that, but off the top of my head, it should be seen more. 100%. Navy Grogg is going in B tier because we don't see it that much. Mojito. Mojito is going in S tier, and I'll tell you why. Fucking refreshing as fuck. It's a bitch to make. Some bartenders have like drinks that they do and they don't like to make, but mojitos for me, I don't know, because I really like drinking them, and they're really specific to me, and I like how they make them in coastal countries, like just with brown sugar, mint, slap the mint, spank it, lime and everything like that, muddled. Like I love that kind of but that's very cultural, how people make mojitos. So I hate making them because I hate throwing them together, especially because they're not shaken and they're built. There's something where I'm just really slow at them compared to other drinks. Like some bartenders are really good at making mojitos and some aren't, like myself. So that's in S tier because fucking quality and like so simple. Soda water, sugar, lemon, mint, or lime mint, and white rum. Easy to like. Sazerac is my next one. Sazerac is 100% going in A tier or S tier, and a Sazerac is basically half cognac, half rye, pasteured bitters, sugar, and rinse of absinthe on the inside. So you'll see the bartender doing a rinse of it, or they'll just pour the little bit of absinthe and roll the glass around. Don't see it that much anymore. I fucking love Sazeracs. One of the first drinks that I made, and I'm so grateful for that. I think you have a real I don't know, connection with the first drink that you ever made. Like it's like a first kind of girlfriend or whatever. But they never do. The Sazerac's never done anything to me. But sorry, that was someone trying to hack into the phone there. Sazerac for me is exactly that. One of my favourite things as well about it is that there's no ice in it. There's rarely a garnish, sometimes just a little lemon thing on the top, but the aromatics do all the talking for you. Like if you want a garnish, you might as well call the absinthe the garnish. It's a really, really good drink for food, and that's kind of my style of bartending maybe, is that I prefer drinks that are easily paired with food. Sazerac's one of them. So half 30 mils cognac, 30 mils of rye. I haven't made one of those yet because I've found it very difficult to get a hand on rye recently. So if anybody wants to send some my way, I'd be delighted. So far we have Mojito and Sazerac in S tier, so fucking do job. I'll show you. So there we are so far. Mojito and Sazerac in S, Pornstar in A, and a Navy Grogg in B. So we'll get cracking on the rest. Cosmopolitan going in S tier just because of the cultural influence on it. It properly revived cocktails again. Cocktails were huge for hundreds of years. Then into the Prohibition, we kind of, all the best bartenders from America, which would have been the best place for cocktails traditionally, then moved to Europe and kind of spread it that way. So that was good in some ways, but back at home in America there wasn't that much. You'd think of Great Gatsby and the speakeasy that they had there. But back to Cosmopolitans, fucking brilliant. I spoke about it in my Cosmo video, but I'll just kind of reiterate it again. To have a drink that your favourite character drinks in your series is such an incredible technique that I don't think is utilised enough, because when you go to a bar and you order a Cosmopolitan, you feel like one of them. Like you feel like a little bit more of a connection to the character that you're seeing every week or episodically. Really nice drink as well. It just gets, in some bars it just gets shafted. Like I don't know what people put into it. I've heard of sugar being put into a Cosmopolitan before, and that's sex offender stuff. Once it's really, really light, fleshy pink, if you're using the Ocean Spray, which is the most common cranberry juice, Cosmopolitan swapper. Next one is strawberry knackeries. They just smell so sickly to me. Strawberry is very synthetic smelling and tasting flavour when used in anything like that. Like if you need to do it really, really quickly, so you have a syrup or you have anything like that. A strawberry infusion I've had before, which really, really, really makes it better. So if you just put strawberries for literally, chop them up really finely, but put them into your Bacardi or whatever white rum you're using for your strawberry daiquiri, that is a lot more subtle, and it's better. Or if you want to cut them up and then put them in the shaker and then shake it with them, it's fine. But steer clear of strawberry daiquiris that have that are using syrups or anything like that, because I don't think you could have more than one. I've never tasted one before, and I probably won't, because that, like, I don't know. So where am I putting strawberry daiquiri? It's not in B. fuck it, it's going into D. I'll be a dickhead today. So it's down the bottom. You just can fuck off if you have a problem with that. Pina Coladas. Pina Coladas are going into B tier with Navy Grog. Pina Coladas are really cool. Bit of a devil to make, bit sickly where again depending on where you go, but a really well made one is really refreshing, really really light. But the thing is with rum drinks, and I explained it in the Mai Tai video, I fucking haven't drank any of this. I spoke about it in the Mai Tai video that rum drinks for me are more of an experience or an atmosphere, as opposed to the drink itself, because they do have that tendency to just be a load of shit fucked together, juice wise, and that's fine if you're in a really hot country that has these things growing like right beside you. But in Ireland we don't have the freshest fruit, and I think maybe that's just the thing. Maybe I need to try go to the Caribbean and try them there. So that's where I kind of stand with tiki drinks, although there are some incredible ones that we'll get to now. But Pina Colada with obviously the coconut cream, rum, all that jazz. You wouldn't have that many of them, but it's going in B tier because songs made after them and everything. So there you go. What is the next one? Next one is a Dark and Stormy. Dark and Stormy is one of the ones that we're going to be making soon. The national drink of Bermuda. I learned from a friend. Gosling's that rum that I've been using a lot of. That's their go-to. So Dark and Stormy is also going to go in B. B is looking like very much a tier of tiki drinks at the moment, because they're just in the middle for me so far, but I'm sure we'll get there. With a little bit higher. Dark and Stormy is a really nice ginger beer, rum, lime juice, easy, really really easy. Really, I love that punch of ginger. We'll get to Moscow Mule as well later, but that punch of ginger is a real game changer in something that kind of comes from left field in my opinion. Like, you would never think, like, flavor wise, in my opinion, to put those together, but absolutely genius. Jungle Bird is next. Jungle Bird, another tiki drink, but I think what they call it now is Neo Tiki. And Jungle Bird is, as I said, don't go out buying Campari if you don't love Negronis. However, how are you? Don't go out buying Campari if you don't like Negronis. And if you don't like Negronis and you I don't know, you definitely don't like Negronis if you don't like Campari, but a Jungle Bird is a really good introduction to Campari. Like, if you're a bit of a virgin when it comes to that, there's only a small amount in it. So yeah, if you are going to try Jungle Bird, just bear in mind that it has that bitterness in it. But other than that, I think it's a really cool concept to put that into a tiki drink. So fuck it, let's put that Jungle Bird in A. Next one is Long Island. Long Island's going in A. I don't care what anybody says. I've rarely ever had one when I'm out, and people don't really understand that. Yeah, it's known as like, get me fucked up kind of drink, but it's probably still the same amount of alcohol in it as anything else. I think the max you can put in a cocktail in Ireland is 80 mils of alcohol, of like spirit. But I could be wrong on that. It's something like that anyway. But the most you'll see in a cocktail anyway, for sure, is 60, 70 max. If people want to keep their GP, okay. But I just love the sheer chaotic energy of a Long Island iced tea. I think you're looking for trouble, and I absolutely love when people order them, because they're easy to make for me. They're kind of fun to make. I like the look of it when they float, and the garnish is so easy. I think that's such a underrated thing for a drink. Like, just stick pineapple leaves or a lemon in it and you are rocking. Love them. They're S tier for Long Island. White Lady, jumping from one straight to the other. White Lady, very elegant drink. Basically like a whiskey sour for gin instead of whiskey. Probably gonna go in B tier. Just something that I threw in here because I don't think a lot of people, because I haven't heard it being asked for recently enough. So if you don't like whiskey sours, you probably would like a White Lady if you're more on the gin side, if you prefer gin. So Yeah, really crisp. That like it's a sour, so it's got egg white in it. So it's it's an elegant drink. It's quite fluffy. Like it fluffs up a lot more. I don't know if there's any. Maybe it's the lime juice because it has lime instead of lemon juice in a whiskey sour. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that in there. White Lady's going in B tier. An old fashioned, a regular bourbon old fashioned. Now I struggle with this because I saw this earlier and I was like, where the fuck am I going to put this? I rarely have them, just because bourbon. If different bourbons taste very differently to me, I think I'm gonna have to put it in S tier. I think there'd be a lot of people annoyed with me if I put it anywhere else. It's the daddy of fucking cocktails. Like, what are we supposed to say? It's that perfect thing of sweet, sour, and your spirit. An old fashioned, easy to make. Like probably, like definitely the easiest drink to make I've ever. I could, like, if someone asked me for that, I can have that to them in 30 seconds, like max. Beautiful drink, really well made. Can go wrong a little bit if you go overboard on the sugar, but like again, people have lots of different ways of making this drink. Some people use simple syrup or sugar syrup, or they use they soak the brown sugar with Angostura bitters. Other ways to do it. Some people say it's a little bit more gritty. I think. From what I've heard of friends in the States, they say that they use maple syrup a little bit, which is that's what you're into. But old fashioned has to go in S tier, despite me being a little bit on the fence about it now. So French Martini, A tier for that baby. Fucking class. Again, very elegant. You get that kind of nice little head from the pineapple juice. Chambord, which is like, I think it's called black raspberry liqueur. I don't know what a black raspberry is, but it's not blackberry and it's not raspberry liqueur. Do I have it there? I did have the. What does it say? Yeah, black raspberry liqueur. You won't be able to read it because it's probably the wrong way around. But yeah, I don't know what a black raspberry is. Anyway, brilliant drink, for sure. Vodka, three ingredients, really nice, very elegant. Tends to pair well with food. I find of a fruity-esque drink. I think it's more on the side of pairing it with food. So, hell yeah, let's put that in A. After that, it's the Americano. First, oh no, fuck. Hold on now. Before the Americano can wait. French 75, my friend. If we had a class above S, it would be going in there. Fucking love a French 75. Vodka, gin, lemon. Shake that motherfucker. Pour it in. Top it up with Prosecco. That's a cocktail. That's... If I made more of those, I'd be a very, very happy man. So I want to see when we go back to bars eventually, people ordering them. By God, I love French 75. It's very, very cool. Very, very bougie. I'm an awful sinner for people who are being bougie. Next to the Americano, we'll get to the Americano now. Campari, red vermouth, sweet vermouth, and topped with soda water. Very continental, very on the continent. Really, fucking James Bond's first drink that he ever ordered. Yeah, like you'd have this if you woke up in the morning if you were living in Italy. I would assume. I think it's a bit of a waste if you're Italian if you don't. Really cool, like very like low on the ABV front, refreshing. But still getting those kind of complex traits from both the red vermouth and the Campari. The next one is a Bloody Mary. So sorry, where did the Americano go? Apologies. Americano is going into B. I think we're going to have a lot in B because I don't know if the Americano deserves A. There's nothing groundbreaking within it. Obviously preceded the Negroni, but which, can you guess? Fucking Mr. Negroni man over here, where is that going to be? Anyway, we are at Bloody Mary now, that has to go in S tier, because if you haven't had one, there will come a day where you will have one, and then you'll start raving about it, because it's until you're mad hungover, or it's until you have one, it's cold soup, as a lot of people call it, but it's the king of, like, let's just chuck everything I have that's in the gaff into a drink. But tomato juice is like quality. I've seen it made with carrot juice and clamato juice, which is like clam broth. They do that in Canada a lot. I may have had to make that when I lived there for a bit. That's rotten. But the regular old Bloody Mary is fucking top notch. Until you've had one, until the time has arisen for you to have a Bloody Mary, you won't necessarily understand it. But once you do have a really, really good one, because there's a lot of effort goes into it, but not effort but love. Like when you care about that drink, or when you care about a certain cocktail, you'll know how much it means for me to drink it. I'm getting emotional here. You know how much it means when you drink a good Bloody Mary that's not too watery, that's not too thick, that's not like a stupid garnish when it's just like a celery stick as the garnish and maybe a lemon wheel or something like that. But that's it's nothing like a really, really well made Bloody Mary. Like I'd fully go up to the bartender and say that was amazing. So that was in S tier, because but see, the thing now is that there's about 6 or 7 drinks in S tier. I'll update you where we are. So Mojito, Sazerac, Cosmo, Long Island, Old Fashioned, French 75 and Bloody Mary are in S tier. A tier is made up of Pornstar Martini, Jungle Bird and French Martini. B is Navy Grogg, Pina Colada, Dark and Stormy, White Lady and Americano. And D is Strawberry Daquiri. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. Next one we are at is Penicillin. Penicillin is probably one of the ones that I'm going to make next week, and probably I forgot a drink. I went over it and over and over. Did I remember every drink? Because I just thought Scotch there. Anyway, penicillin is Scotch. Lemon and ginger syrup, or sorry, honey and ginger syrup with lemon as well. Penicillin, obviously, the drug. But that's a really cool cocktail. You don't see Scotch being put into cocktails much, purely because it's quite a hard ingredient to get other things to match up to. To stand up to it, as is often said, stand up to the spirit. But I'm gonna put that in B tier, because it doesn't do anything that special, and honey and ginger syrup you're not gonna use that much. I know that's a fairly superficial way to look at it, that you're not gonna use a syrup again, but it's just maybe just a little bit too finicky, and maybe it'll cause, depending on what Scotch you're using, probably that's why people kind of steer away from it, because Scotch is more of a sipped drink where we are. The other Scotch cocktail that I was thinking of that came to mind was a Godfather. Godfather is a very, 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 very cool drink that a lot of people that have never had it before, I'm just going to add it here, that people have often not heard of. It's literally just Scotch and Amaretto. So if you like Scotch whiskey and Amaretto, as in Di Serrano, stir it. Angostura bitters maybe. I mean, it doesn't get more simple than that as a bartender to really, really enjoy making a drink. So a Godfather would, if I had it here, and I'll add it later, I'll take a picture. Godfather's going to go in A tier. Really, really good drink. I highly recommend people ask for it, because it's probably the easiest drink to make that I've come across, and probably easier than the Old Fashioned, and a crowd pleaser, a real crowd pleaser. Like every time I've given it to someone or recommended it, there's always been at least 2 or 3, and you can drink it 2 or 3, even though some people find Amaretto a little bit sickly. When it comes to sweet cocktails, it's that smoke from the Scotch, the peat, and it's really going to balance that out really nicely. So that was a Godfather, and that went into A tier. A Hanky Panky. Hanky Panky is I'm blanking on the main spirit, but it's Fernet Branca, red sweet vermouth, and I'm gonna say it's whiskey because it's from around that time. Fernet Branca is a mint liqueur, or a herbal mint liqueur. You'll often see it. It's from Italy. You'll often see it around. They have really cool imagery and stuff like that. And they get really good artists to do their gear. Hanky Panky is gonna go into B tier because it's very easy. It's kind of like a. Hold on, let me look up really quick. Hanky Panky cocktail. There's a lot of sexual innuendo today. Which I don't know. A gin, of course it was gin. So sorry, that was my bad. So gin, Fernet Branca, and red vermouth. So that leads me to caipirinhas and caiprioskas. Caipirinha is made from the Brazilian spirit, national spirit called cachaça. I think it smells like arse. Every time I've smelt a bottle of, and that's what you do when you haven't seen anything before. I often just stick the honker into it and see what it smells like, and it smells like farts, in my humble opinion. So, and purely for that reason, my personal experience, that's going in D tier as well. Caiprioska, on the other hand, because I'm a vodka man. This drink in general is literally just a sugar cube, vodka, and limes that are muddled. Really, really amazing drink. Really fresh. So easy to make at home. Like such a summer drink. So I'm gonna put a Caiprioska into A tier because it really deserves it. Here you go. Tom Collins is next. Such a refreshing drink. Talk about refreshing drinks after Caiprioska. How to follow it up with Tom Collins. Gin, lemon, sugar if you want, soda water. So fucking easy. Another daddy of cocktails. Like if you were thinking of the two or three heavyweights, you'd think maybe an old fashioned and a Negroni and well then you have martinis and stuff like that. But an old fashioned for whiskey and Tom Collins for gin. I would say gin cocktail would probably be that, or a martini. So that Tom Collins is going to go into A tier because I think really people should be drinking that a lot more, especially coming into the summer months. I'd be very happy if people started ordering more Tom Collinses, so that'd be fucking class. The horniest fucking drink of all is up next. Margarita has to go into S tier. If Long Island is in S tier, because if Long Island is in S tier for me, the Margarita is in above that. You just know you're getting wellied. Like, you know you're really getting horny on drinking margaritas. Now, I think people get scammed a little bit drinking margaritas because a lot of places don't use proper tequila, and I don't like this being able to get certain spirits for the price. It's not that at all. But I think there is a little bit of a substantial difference between good tequila and shit tequila, as opposed to any other spirit. It's probably because I kind of have a little bit more of a sensitive palate to tequilas than any other spirit. But margaritas with 100% agave, reposado or blanco, it's fucking quality. Like, it's so popular around the world. I've never tried the frozen variant of it. I don't think there's a need, to be honest. Like if you put ice in your glass, you freeze the glass, then there's no need. It's so simple and it's so good. Although I've been tiptoeing around whether I like Cointreau or not. Or sorry, on the fence whether I like Cointreau or not recently, or whether I think it actually needs it. So you could go for its brother, the Tommy Margaritas, without Cointreau in it. But seriously good drink, Margarita. Like that's. Tell you about an atmosphere of 6 people drinking margaritas. If something doesn't happen, you're very lucky if something doesn't happen if you're all drinking margaritas. Like, everyone goes a little bit weird, a little bit horny. Next one is a whiskey sour. Whiskey sour is not my buzz. It's not my buzz. And it never has been, because I don't like Irish whiskey. A lot of people use bourbon instead. I think in the States they use bourbon a little bit more. But
Yeah, it's not my buzz, but I have to give it its credit for the whole egg white business. So for me, it's going in A tier. It's not S tier. Definitely not S tier. It doesn't have the complexity for S tier. Fuck a whiskey sour. It's also, the problem with whiskey sours is that it's a real like Rooker lads drink. Like I heard Rob Lipsett has a pre-workout that's whiskey sour flavour. Sure, all that is caramel and lemon. Like if you were to put down the taste of a of a whiskey sour, it's probably like a lemon and caramel, but like a light caramel, like not really heavy, but whiskey's like what, shortbread. I don't want to. I'd never take a pre-workout, but I definitely wouldn't want a whiskey sour one. Like some amount of pervs going around. But fair play to him, because I've served him a hell of an amount of whiskey sours, and he likes them. I mean, the egg white in it's not going to be like sensational for your health, but I think it's probably one of the more healthier cocktails if you want to talk about it like that. Something that I always drink as the bartender diet is orange juice with egg whites. I'm a fiend for drinking the egg whites. It's just because you don't get a chance to get a break or anything like that, so kind of get used to it after a while, like Rocky. An espresso martini is the next. So that whiskey sour was an A tier. I'm gonna just turn you around here and show you how we're getting on so far. Fuck. So I'll explain all of what these are later, but in S tier, Mojito, Sazerac, Cosmo, Long Island, Old Fashioned, French 75, Bloody Mary and Margarita. A tier, Pornstar, Jungle Bird, French Martini, Caiprioska, Tom Collins and Whiskey Sour. B, Navy Grogg, Pina Colada, Dark and Stormy, White Lady, Americano. What the fuck is that? Penicillin, Hanky Panky, and then down at D tier, Strawberry Daquiri and Caipirinha. That's because I've got a vendetta against them, but that doesn't mean they're bad drinks. Espresso Martini is next. Espresso Martini has to go in A tier because it's 100% the most popular drink in the world, and you can't put something down that's the most popular drink in the world. And also, it's actually very good for just keeping you going. Like if you're really like drowsy on a night out, if you have 2 or 3 of them, it's a real pick me up. I think there's not that much of a variation, if I'm being honest, between espresso martini to espresso martini, because like you can use different coffee, you can use different liqueurs, like you can definitely go down on the sugar, because like the sugar content would be quite high if you care about that shit, like myself. If you are using Kahlua and sugar syrup, either use one or the other, but you have to use Kahlua or some kind of coffee liqueur. So if you're concerned about having a minging hangover, go to a place that is gonna make your espresso martinis not that sugary. So, but like, you don't have to say anything like that's. I was about to say the Real Madrid of drinks. I don't know why that came to my head, but like, just always been popular. There's no reason for it not to be popular as well. Like everyone loves coffee. Not everyone likes vodka. But that's what I love about vodka though. It just slips in there. Very snaky. You wouldn't even know. I've put poutine into espresso martinis and it's been very nice. You wouldn't whiskey as well. Like the base of that can really, like, I'm sure rum would be gorgeous as well. And Patron, don't even get me started about Cafe Patron. Espresso martinis are some of the best shit in the world. So that went into S tier. Irish coffees, conflicting about this, because I love making them. I absolutely love making them. But they don't take a while. I actually would consider myself. I'd say maybe some people would think differently, but I would consider myself quite quick at making them. Quick if you're thinking of like quality control of how quick and good they look. I think I have it really down to a T. I'll probably make one here one time to show everyone an Irish coffee, but has to go into A tier because as much as I hate keeping the coffee machine on for people, when people like them, they like jizz over it. So has to go into A tier. Also a hot cocktail kind of thing, which I'm into hot cocktails the odd time, so has to go into A tier. Not quite S tier for me. Fuck it. I'm gonna be mean today to the Irish coffee. Ramos Fizz. A Ramos Fizz, just for people who may not have heard it before. Gin, lemon, cream, and egg white. That's pervert. Carry on. I don't care what anybody says. How the fuck do you think you're gonna sell that? There was a whole myth that in the place where it was from, in America, I don't know where it is now off the top of my head, but the guy who was making the drink, if someone ordered this Ramos Gin Fizz, he'd send it around to all the bartenders, he'd send it around to all the customers, the shaker, and everyone would shake it for a minute each. So whether you believe that or not, I wouldn't be surprised, but that's pervert behaviour. If you're putting cream and egg whites together, you sex offenders register for me. White and Black Russian. This is going into just for the sheer audacity of it, of putting vodka, coffee, and cream, half and half, milk. Yeah, well, people. The problem with a White Russian is that people just order it because they know the word. Like, it's like the old fashioned thing, but it's not nearly as bad. I'd say for people knowing the name of drink, White Russian is probably the worst, because people just stroll up to the bar and go, "Hey, I'll have a White Russian, please, man." And I'll go, I never judge a book by its cover, but when they order it like that, like, the people who actually drink White Russians are rotten old fellas. So if a younger person is drinking them, especially because of the cream, like, I don't know that many people who like cream anymore because they like dairy free. So I made it with coconut milk there before. It's harder to layer it on, but it's definitely worth it. But yeah, it's definitely the worst thing when it comes to people just saying a cool name for a cocktail. So a White Russian, although that made me want to bring it down a little bit, it's still pretty cool concoction. I had a group of tech lads into me once, and they were all drinking White Russians just to I don't know, jerk each other off. And the farts were so bad in that room. Like, don't drink more than 2 White Russians. That's all I'll say. Next one is an Aviation. Aviation is, I just stuck this in here because it's one of the old gin. I didn't think I had much gin cocktails on it. Aviation, creme de violette is what gives this purple hue. I'll show you here. This is maybe too purple. Maybe it's more of a blue than it should be, but because it's that's probably too much. But Aviation, so lemon juice, gin, creme de violette, sugar. Very refreshing. A cool drink nonetheless. Just something that I'd like to see a little bit more of, I guess. That's why I stuck it in here. So that's going on C tier, because I don't like it that much, but I would like to see it more. A Sidecar. Sidecar is cognac, lemon, Cointreau. You can put sugar syrup in as well if you want a little bit more sweetness. And then it has a sugar rim. It's the drink that's known for having the sugar rim. I think there's a couple of bars around the world that call themselves the Sidecar as well. So this is a drink that's been around for fucking donkey's years. It's going to go into C tier as well, and that's being harsh, because it is a very good drink, and it's probably the only cognac soul based drink on this. I wanted to keep it relatively short. I just can't see it being better than anything else. Like, it's not too sweet. The sugar rim is over the top, but like, if you're in the mood for it, like, you'll drink any of these if you're in the mood for it. Like, sure, I'll drink any of these if you put it in front of me. But I can't see it being, like, you're looking above this tier. On C tier you have Hanky Panky, Penicillin, Americano, dark and stormy. Like, you're getting off a little bit more if you're drinking those as opposed to a Sidecar. So a Sidecar is going into C tier. A Bramble. Bramble is a very good drink. Gin. I saw Bombay Sapphire have a Bramble branded gin out at the moment. An interesting one. I've never tried it. Hit me up if you have. It's hard. This is a difficult one. I'm gonna put it into B tier because I don't like it that much. It's very hard to find very, very flavorful blackberry liqueur or syrup or anything like that. Like, blackberry is a very hard ingredient in my opinion to incorporate. So that's a Bramble. It went into B. The next one is an Amaretto Sour. Fuck. I think an Amaretto Sour goes into S tier, and just because I think it's a better sour than a whiskey sour. I think people are happier with Amaretto Sours than they are with whiskey sours. Like, they'll tell their friends a little bit more, and they'll be a little bit more excited because they'll be like, fuck, I haven't had that taste in a long time. I should release an Amaretto Sour pre-workout a la Rob. But yeah, S tier. Absolutely, like, really up there with the best drinks. Like, people are so excited to drink them, and that's all you ever want. A Rum Old Fashioned, that's the next one. So basically just the old fashioned template and with dark rum, and that has to go in A. I don't think it's amazing. I do though. I drink them off. I've started drinking them more recently because I found rum that I like, and that's dangerous. That could jump, but I think if I put another drink in S tier, it's gonna devalue it completely. So I'm gonna keep that in A. Rum Old Fashioned. What can you say? Spirit's always going to be the head buy of the drink. It's going to be very much dependent on what rum you're using. So make it a good one. Next one is a Paloma. Paloma is a very cool drink. So tequila, grapefruit, and soda water. Well, soda water, seltzer, as the Americans say. That's going into A tier because I want to see a lot more of that. You don't see enough of it now. Grapefruit juice is class, goes very well with tequila. Very good, really refreshing. A drink that, yeah, I'd love to see more, but especially coming into these summer months for sure. This is next one, Corpse Reviver 2. Lillet Blanc, gin, curacao or Cointreau, and a spray of absinthe. Fucking anything that has a spray of absinthe. You've got me. I'm so easy to please. I'll drink literally any of these as well, like, so everyone knows. But fuck me, spray some absinthe on anything, I'll drink it. Very nice drink, very refreshing for what you'd think. Like, you'd think that'd blow your fucking cock off, but it's not too bad. Moscow Mule. Having drank a few the last while, it's gone down for me, and I hate to say that because I do like it. I think it's just too refreshing. I don't ever taste the vodka in it, no matter how much. Well, you can put equal amounts of vodka in ginger beer, but yeah, I just don't feel like I'm drinking, which is fucking fantastic up until the point you lose the marbles altogether. So I'm gonna put that in B tier. A Gimlet. A Gimlet's just basically a lime, gin, sugar syrup. I think some people put Cointreau in it as well, but very classic drink. It's like a Daquiri with gin. These all have a very similar template, but just different names for the different base spirit. So a Gimlet is going in. It's going in C purely because, yeah, it does what it says on the tin. Like, you know what's coming. Very easy to make at home. It doesn't have the atmosphere to it. Like, you're not. I don't know if you feel cool drinking it, which is understandably, I think, an underrated reason to drink a cocktail. So Gimlet finds itself down in C tier just because it's just not as much of an experience as anything else. What do we have next? Fucking vodka martini, gin martini, at the very, very, very top of S tier. My favourite cocktail. And I'm very wary of saying that, because I have a favourite cocktail for every spirit. But a vodka and gin martini is the poppy. Unbelievable. It's gonna really base itself on the spirit that you have. So like if you're having a vodka martini, you really want to pick your vodka well. Something like Kettle One is a really good kind of mid-range thing to buy. But even like if you want to use Stolichnaya or even Finlandia, I had a one recently that was really good. Finlandia was 21 euro, I think. And then get yourself some really good vermouth. Vermouth's easy to make as well. But like you can get martini extra dry, which is like probably the most widely seen dry vermouth for like €9, I think. So vodka martini, man. Talk about how you feel making a drink, how you feel making a drink and drinking it. That silhouette of that stiletto stem, fucking beautiful, and one of my all-time favorites. If anybody wants to buy me a drink, just buy me an extra dry vodka martini. I've been very, very horny for the fucking olives recently as well. I kind of ping pong from one to the other whether I like with a twist or with olives. Very horny for them nowadays. I went off the olives for a while because I was having like triple extra dirty, like, and sure, half the time you're just drinking olive brine at that stage, which like each to their own, and myself. So yeah, vodka, top of S tier, baby. Manhattan. We don't drink enough Manhattans here. From my knowledge, I think I've maybe had to make them twice. Maybe I just work in the wrong places for them. Again, it's maybe something that people ask for when they don't know, but you can make it with Manhattan Angostura, sweet vermouth, and you can either use bourbon or rye. I don't really mind. You're only a Campari away from fucking Boulevardier if you're using bourbon. People say the rye gives it a little bit more spice, but then I don't know if the rye goes really well with the red vermouth. So I don't know. Both of them equally as nice, just different experiences. A Manhattan really well done with a really, really dark maraschino cherry. Fucking brilliant. Have to put that in A tier. Oh no, I don't. A. Oh, if we were in America now, they'd have me by the ghoulies if I didn't put that in S tier. But in my taste, I'd put it in a B because I don't drink them at all. I think if you're going that way, fucking put the Campari in it. Why not? Take the load off. So it's going in A, begrudgingly going in A. We're coming towards the end, and literally what I just was speaking about there, a Negroni. Second only to this is where I knew that we'd come into a little bit of trouble, because which is better for me, a Negroni or a vodka martini? That's literally what it comes down to, the two kingpins. Bloody Mary is definitely in third, and Sazerac fourth, followed closely by Cosmo and all them, but French 75. But the two big daddies in my life, fucking vodka martinis and a Negroni. Very tough to pick between the two. Could have them on either day. It's literally it's more of an impulsive thing. I think if I was before my meal, I'd have a vodka martini, two of them, and then I'd have a Negroni throughout my meal. If I was exclusively drinking cocktails, I'd keep the vodka 4 beforehand and then 1 after, but Negronis all the way through. But Negronis, that's a cocktail. Like, easy thing to make. Obviously, your ingredients may not be easy to find a la Campari, but 3 ingredients, all equal measures: sweet, bitter, and your your alcohol. And it's a sexy drink as well. I really like the 2 sexiest drinks: vodka martini and a Negroni, for sure. Probably a vodka martini sexier, but Negroni's a close second. Aperol Spritz, A tier, baby. Oh, that's gone up high, and that's gone up higher than the Mojito. Aperol Spritzes, man, come all over my Aperol tits. Class. Brilliant. Spritzes, whoever thought of that idea, fucking damn genius. Aperol is gorgeously light. I never ever have had a hangover after drinking any amount of Aperol. I never go off the taste. Aperol is fucking S tier, and I won't hear a word about it. A zombie. Now, this is something that I don't know if people actually drink zombies or are they drinking something else, because I was talking to a friend today and we were talking about zombies, and like, it's a lot to go in. Again, it's not really helping the whole just shoving a load of shit into a tiki drink. It's 2 types, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 types of rum. And then it's falernum as well. Falernum is a very nice liqueur that I'm a big fan of. Kind of get that cloves and nice flavour from it. It's kind of sweet. You can make it fairly easily. And then like a tablespoon of grenadine and lime juice and all that kind of carry on. So for the booze level, if you want to get fucking larried, get a proper zombie. But it's going to cost you, like a proper zombie should in theory cost you €15, €16. Which would be great if you had 2. But in theory, like I don't know if places that are serving zombies are putting all that in, and that would just be my concern with buying them out, because I wouldn't mind me being a bartender, I wouldn't mind paying premium price for like a zombie with like really well placed rum, but it's an interesting one of where it's going, because booze wise, and it does, I've had 1 or 2 before, you do find the difference between the different rums within them, but I've only made them nicely for myself. I've never had one out in a bar, and I would never. That's where my trust issues probably would come in. So a zombie 4, it's going in B. I'm begrudgingly going in B because it has potential, but it's not done as consistently. Like all those other things that are higher are done a lot better consistently. Last word: 20 lime, 20 maraschino, 20 gin, and 20 green chartreuse. Pretty cool cocktail. Came across it very young in my bartending career, which was it's a surprise looking back. Because you don't see it that much. You see it on the continent a lot more. But I find when people like it, it's a step up from the Gimlet that I was talking about earlier. It's a little bit more complex, so it's obviously going above the Gimlet that's in C, but for sure it's going in B. I don't think it deserves A. Mai Tai is going in. It's going in A, because again, like I said before, if I keep putting everything in S, there'll be no value to it. So Mai Tai is going in A tier, which is very respectable. Don't get me wrong, but purely for introducing the orgeat thing. I think a lot of tiki drinks have benefited from that. I don't know if that was the first. Probably not. I'm not sure. But I've seen nice variations of. I've seen crap variations of as well. But I've seen nice ones that incorporate like a little bit of absinthe sprayed on the pineapple leaves, which I think is a really nice aromatic thing. The use of 2 different rums, as I was talking about before in the zombie. Like if you get that right, you're rocking. And even the one that I used yesterday was just a dark and a light. It was Bacardi and Gosling's. Like, still such an amazing drink. So it's going in A. It's definitely going in A. And then our final one, a Clover Club. If I was having a if I was inclined, strawberry daiquiri sexual, I would have a Clover Club instead, because it's you could like, it's traditionally made with raspberries, but it has that added egg white density. I'm looking at it now though. It has the added texture of the egg white. So I would ask the bartender if I liked strawberry as opposed to raspberry, although I find it difficult to. Actually, I will say raspberries don't taste as sickly in syrups, and that could just be me. The strawberry tends to get a little bit sick. That's just because it's a little bit more synthetic. But if you muddle, whenever I've made a Clover Club, you just muddle like 4 fresh raspberries, and it's amazing. Like, it's a really bright drink. Then it shines a little bit more, so it's definitely going above strawberry daiquiri. So I would encourage anyone who sticks to strawberry daiquiris all the time to try a Clover Club. So that is going in B tier, and that's gonna be me for the night, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll be putting timestamps in the description when I put this up, but thanks very much, and I will see you later. Sayonara.